is on the 91 Mustang here. You can see I'm working on my interior pieces and everything to go on it. One of the things that I had out, actually I had it in when I did my maiden voyage drive on it. I noticed that the fuel gauge didn't work and the needles, they needed recovered because all the factory, whatever they put on it, paint or whatever, come off. So I'm going to go over how to touch up the needles to make them pop really good. I want to go through and clean this up anyway. So if we look at it, you notice that it doesn't have any of the orange on any of those. So what I'm going to do is show kind of how to clean this up and then pull this apart, look at it, and recover these needles so they have that good pop to it. So that'll be getting this cover off, which it doesn't look to be in too bad a condition, but it probably could use just a little bit of a buff on it to really make it shine out there. So that's just getting this apart. It looks pretty clean on the inside of it, so I'm not too worried about it. And then once I get that apart, I'll pull the gauges out. And if I remember on the Fords, see, it looks like we got two connectors there, but the gauges just, they're pin connectors. You see the holes right here, they're actually pinned in and they can just pull right out. So that'll let me inspect everything on it and touch up those gauges. Okay, so I figured out what size this is. This is not a millimetric, a 7/32. And I noticed when I went to take it apart, I'm missing these two here. So I'll need to dig through my stash of stuff. I know I got these little boogers laying around somewhere. So anyways, this cover here, I'll just come through and just treat it like a headlight and just do a quick little buff on it. It's not really in bad condition, just a quick clean. So this is what we got underneath. Looks a lot better without that ugly glass in the way. This looks to be in pretty good condition. It's not all torn up. I might go through and do another quick little wipe down on it. But that looks to be in real good condition. So as you probably saw, once that's off, these just kind of, they'll pull out. So, oh, I'm missing a bunch of bulbs in here. I thought I went in and replaced all my bulbs. Apparently I did not come in and replace all my bulbs. Yeah, I'm about to show you how to mess up. That's what I'm about to do. Okay, so the speedometer should come right out. Oh, I see, it's stuck behind there. There we go. There's a little piece in there. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to the slosh module back there. So these are kind of pinned in. There it is. Just going to do a quick inspect. They look like they're in perfect condition. Okay, I'm going to go over how to clean and paint the needles on this cluster. So what we're going to do is take some of the polyvants that I have, Super Prep, and I'm going to put it on a Q-tip here, and then I'll just go over and lightly brush the needles. So you can take the needles off, but you got to be very careful, like where this the temp gauge is clocked here, where all these are clocked at. If not, you'll get it out of clocking. And then, like for your temp gauge, you'll read, if you put it back on, and you put it back on, you know, this way or all the way at 130, it won't read right. And then that's the same for the fuel gauges and the oil gauge too. So it's important not to, if you do mess with them, make sure to put them right back where they go. You can actually get new needles, but this is pretty cheap. If you don't use the polyvants that I have, that you see kind of back here in the background right here, if you don't use that, because that's a whole gallon, right? Most people aren't going to buy a whole gallon and do one thing. You can use a little bit of paint thinner to go on it, but I wouldn't use anything harsher than paint thinner, like lacquer thinner or acetone or any of that, because it can eat your plastic. Now I have used an orange Sharpie before, and it looked pretty good for a few months, and then it faded and kind of looks like crap. Alright, here's what I picked up. Fingernail polish. Don't really matter what brand or whatever, but it's just a bright orange. That's all it is. Shake this stuff up. Alright, I'll get one of these good and square it up. And I'll just show you how to do one. There's no point in you watching me do all these needles. I don't want to bore you to death. Alright, so I got this one set up here. I want to, on the speedometer, since it has a little peg here, I'll need to make sure to, you know, have it dialed up just a hair. If I could figure out how to open fingernail polish, not like I use this stuff all the time, right? So shaking up, it's just like painting with a small little brush, and you don't want to put a whole bunch on there. You just want to do just a little bit. This isn't the place to be doing 18 coats. Just like that. Just a real light coat. All you need. I'm going to go ahead and set this upright down in there. Oh wow. That already looks better. See, check that out. You can probably already see it there. But compared to those two right there, wow. And then whenever it hits nighttime, those are backlit, right? Well, they've had bulbs in it. Found my bulbs, by the way. But all the good bulbs down in there, and it'll backlit that, and it'll look pretty sweet. Okay, all done. So that took a couple minutes, and that's it. It don't take all that long. It takes longer to get everything apart. So that's how you go over all your needles. So I might put a little bit more on that one there. But the next thing I need to do is just get it all together in the car and do a daytime, nighttime, and then hopefully it'll pick up in the dark at night so you can see these things really pop. Okay, so I went over the little glass cover with the Invisiglass. It looks pretty good. I don't think I'm going to get the drill and do any kind of powered buffing here. So I'm just looking at it. It has a couple little things in it that looks like they're coming off just with a fingernail. So I'm going to go through and do just a, I'm going to use some of my cut and buff stuff right here. And I'm just going to put it on my hand and then wipe it off. On that side. Well, the camera's just not going to pick it up, but wow, that's amazingly better. I'll leave it on for a fix it till it's broke. Now I'm ready to put everything back together, pop it in the car, and then show what the needles look like. Okay, so the next thing I'm doing on this is replacing the bulbs. So I'm using little 194s. I think this is like a 10 pack, and I counted something like 16 of these, so I have to go get some more. So let's see if I can get a little somewhat more squared up. I mean, this is just straightforward. Look at it, no corrosion on it. So I think I might already clean these up. That's probably why I thought I already had these in there. Okay, I picked this out of the junkyard a while back. This is a F-150 dash, and looky what I got right here. I got light bulbs. Now I can finish the 91 dash and put it in there. I got this just as a parts dash. I know they're kind of hard to come by, not in real great condition, but it had a couple things. Like my parents, they have a 96 F-150, and they got some stuff kind of going cattywampus on their cluster. So I might pull it out and do a rework on it, and then give it back to them. Anyways, yeah. So found those, and I got my little screws I was needing in some of the corners here that I can get out of there. Alright, the cluster's kind of in here. Loosely, I need to tack it in. But why am I in the dark? Well, I'm gonna flip a button and see what happens here. And it's typical of the thing. There we go. Yeah, that's the other problem with the lights on these Mustangs. And as you can see, the needles get in there, nice and orange. So all the needles are nice and bright. That's what was going for, and the fuel gauge works. It's telling me I need fuel.